Hello and welcome to Rebecca's Beautiful ASMR Addiction. I've got my coffee and my wonderful new magazine. I want to share with you what my husband got for me. It's a self-reliance magazine, but it's specifically called Backwoods Home Magazine. Frugal homesteading, pasture management, safe canning. This is October, November, and December this year. So I set a little bit of water to it so we could have some crinkly crackles. We have features and departments. I will do my best to read these things to you. There's publisher's notes, says planning. Fall is a good time to make plans for the future. The garden is winding down and the pantry is filling up, so you have the breathing room to take another look at the jobs you've been putting off. Are there leaks that need attention before bad weather sets in? Do your animals have sufficient stores of food? Which jobs must be done now and which can wait until spring? Planning is at least half of what we do in the magazine business, but we do it all year round, and we're always working several issues ahead for both Backwoods and Home Magazine and its sister magazine, Self-Reliance. But as a deadline approaches for a specific... Yeah, that's enough of that. Okay. So this is my view playing for the championship. Sports have always given me perspective on life. It's like living my life in make-believe episodes. We get do-overs. Can a better outcome? It was a 2-day, but you know what? I'm not that interested in this article. Don't think I will read any more of that to you. Cute picture though, I love that. Ooh, here's one on canning and so on. Let me see. If you're just getting started with homesteading, you may be overwhelmed by the sheer financial investment it seems to require. But I thought the simple life was less expensive, you may be thinking. Well, just look at all the money I'm going to have to spend to get started. If you're starting from scratch, especially if you subscribe to trendy homesteading magazines and social media accounts, the expenses may seem truly outrageous. Even a casual glance through my homesteading magazine or blog post can present you with several tools, exotic animal breeds, or pieces of equipment you didn't know existed, and now don't think you can homestead without. But you don't have to get in over your head financially to start your own homesteading journey. Okay, let's read this part. It says, start small. Don't launch into everything at once. If you're both learning new skills and buying new equipment, you're going to feel overwhelmed on many levels. The learning curve and financial investment can be steep, so don't try to do it all right away. If you are interested in growing other foods, start with small. Yeah, so let's see. Secondhand, whatever homesteading enterprise you are beginning. Estate sales and auctions, yes. Thrift stores can likewise be a treasure trove. Do a little research and find out what items you absolutely need to have and what their value is new. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. most of my canning jars are secondhand. It says either thrifted or handed down to me. Isn't that interesting? I figured, you know. Okay, this is trading and borrowing. Yes. I guess I just want to get a general overview of what this magazine's all about. That is so cool looking. I love these photographs. Alright, be willing to work hard. Use repurposed materials, of course. And invest around lifestyle and budget, hands-on learning, purchases that will repay the investment. That makes sense, totally. Of course, yeah. Can't imagine one of the few pieces of equipment we've purchased new is our sawmill. It's been an investment that paid off very quickly. Yeah, no doubt. Just talk to people, homestead, economics. Joke about animals. Well, getting around in a golf cart is an idea. Get around your property. My husband keeps looking for those in the Facebook marketplace. That's it. Ducks. Fresh eggs each week. Oh yeah, you want chickens. Ducks are good too. Where to start? Solar panels? No way. I am never gonna go that deep into a project. Where to start? No, thank you. Alright. Yeah, let's just kind of skip this because I cannot relate. Neatness counts. That's a general statement that is very true. Tips for handling cattle safely and effectively. Let's see. No, that would be a huge investment. Cattle. Mobile home roofing. A person can tell what kind of stockman you are by your cattle, whether they are wild and hard to handle or mellow and easygoing. A good stockman who handles cattle with patience and in a calm manner will have gentler, calmer cattle than someone who always gets them excited when moving or working with them. Get this closer up. I want to read more here. Okay, so cattle never forget a bad experience. They'll balk when anticipating the same agitation again, refusing to go anywhere if they associate it with stress, fear, or pain. Fascinating. Cattle are smart and sensitive. Calves learn many things from their mothers and their mother's attitude toward people. also learn from their environment and things that happen to them. Their first interactions with humans set the stage for future responses. Cattle respond to good handling and training by becoming easy to manage. If mishandled, however, they react with suspicion or fear and can become wild and difficult to handle. They become wild and some cattle seem smarter than others and figure things out quicker. Okay, low stress handling. And what else does it say here? Never let an animal lose respect. Easiest way to move cattle in is to lead them rather than drive them. Cattle that trust you will come when you call and follow you anywhere. They know from past experience that when you call, you'll feed them or talk to them or take them to new pasture. The principle behind our cattle are trusting and easy to. Alright, well, that's enough on this. Let's see what else they say. When we had cattle out in large range pastures in the summer, my daughter and I would move the whole herd by ourselves, one of us riding ahead and calling and one bringing up the rear to make sure the strugglers came. We let the cattle take their time and go their own speed so they didn't get excited or overheated on a hot day. Boy, these articles are worth saving, aren't they? An easy way to sort cows. I don't think I'll try to read any more about the cows, but I'm going to save this article. Ooh, pasture management on a small farm. Pretty picture. Oh my word, that's so moving. There's more on cows. More on cows. From grazing. Okay, fancy. Still curious how many animals. Yeah, you know, I just don't think I want to read anymore about the cows. Let's see what else is in this Homesteading magazine. Boy, there's just so much more to it than I imagined. This is only scratching the surface. Here's Ask Jackie. Which one should I read? Let's see, harvesting onion and seeds, or how about if you have a question about rural living, just send it in to Jackie. She'll answer it. Canning jelly. Okay, let's read this one. Just reading one of your question and answer books this morning, and I have a question I've already recently. The method of internet for sealing jars. Is it safe to skip the water bath for jelly and turn the jar upside down for the... Okay, they seal, but are they safe? No, it's not safe. That's an old method of sealing jam, jelly, and preserves. It doesn't create a solid seal, and some jars come unsealed during storage. Yeah, I don't know anything about canning. How about this one? It is not recommended to can gravy. Doesn't get hot enough. Interesting. And then they give you a recipe. prickly pear, canning carrots. I preserved canned carrots for the first time. I did not like the texture. How thick. I'm sorry, your carrots have a texture you don't like. Yes, I canned mine for 30 minutes for quarts. I found that they're little larger chunks. After raw packing, add your salt if you wish, then ladle boiling water over the carrots and process them. You might also have better luck if you choose a thick, stout carrot, such as... Yeah, okay, so slice it thicker and use a more stout carrot. Storing seeds. Chicken coop bedding. Can you tell me if there is a problem with using wood shavings, cedar and pine for chicken? Pine is okay, cedar's not. Also, do not use shavings if they are very fine, as they could cause respiratory problems. I have used pine shavings in my chicken coop for years. The shavings keep the coop nice and dry, plus smelling fresh. I use them in my meat houses too. That's cool. That's great to know. Okay, let's see. How long are seeds good for? I'm learning that seeds don't actually last forever. Some way that they are only good for, some say, seeds will last forever depending on their storage conditions. And I have some beans a rancher gave me that carbon dated 1500 years. Oh my goodness gracious. Keep them forever. They should be in an airtight container. I kind of thought so. Okay, viable for 5 years except for parsnips. Keep them in an insect-proof, airtight container out of the sun, and they'll usually reward you greatly. So these are good questions and good answers. Botulism. What comes to mind when you read the word? If you are like most people, you probably have fear varying in degrees. But why is that? Getting some terms straight. You don't know if I want to read this. Oh no. Understanding botulism. I don't know. Yeah. See, this is so important for homesteaders. I know it is, but I'm not planning to homestead. I just like some of the information that's in here. That is an article that is worth saving. Signs and symptoms of botulism. Safe canning. See, this is really important to save as well. When you move on to pressure canning, you open wide many doors. I don't just can green beans like these, but lots of meat and various recipes too. Lots of meat. So you can just make whole recipes and can them too, as long as you can get them hot enough. Canning high acid foods such as these pickled peppers is easy and quick. Pressure canning. Canning carrots. I remember my mom having a pressure cooker like that. But I remember thinking, I never want to do this. I did it with her several times and went, ugh. When canning a mix of food, it should be processed for the food that requires the longest canning time. And in this case, the corn requires the longest processing time. So you would use that time when cooking a mix of peas, carrots, and corn. Things that should not be canned. Although canning is very safe and easy, helping plump up our pantry shelves to overall flavorful foods to enjoy. There are few that should not be canned, like quick breads. Another food. Oh, nothing that has flour in it. Gravies and stews. And she says to accommodate that by having your recipes canned and then you heat it. I'm not sure I understand all that, but there is a way to get around those things. Another caution is don't add large. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at this. Country moments. Oh, it's a contest. You can submit your country photos. Oh, these are precious. Oh my word. Got a mama hen, chick. Oh, I do not know how to decide here what I would choose. I think I might tend toward, let's see, I love the kitties and the chicks. There's another whole page. They all have, well, no, they don't all have children in them. That one's so cute. Oh my word. These children loving on their animals. Look at this. Look at the cow kissing the girl. I think I like that one. I think that one's my favorite. Kids Corner. What do the critters in your creek tell you? So you could evaluate the condition of your water based on what's living in there. Interesting. Gives you all the little bits of information that you need here. Let's see. I don't know. Don't think I want to read all this technical stuff, but process. Let's not. Whoa, look at those bugs. Oh my goodness, look at this. If I saw those in my water, I mean, I get grossed out enough to seeing the ones that are visible. I don't mean drinking water. This is talking about your local creek or nearby river or whatever. It's hopefully if you're a homesteader, you have water on your property. My pool, this summer my pool attracted the water boatman bugs, and that was horrible enough as it was. I'm glad you can't see these when you're swimming in the river. Perfect recall. Teach your dog to always come With proper recall training, your dog will eagerly come back. Teaching you how to teach your dog to be compliant, make the right kind of recall. Unless you're a very loud whistler, you will also need a peerless whistle on lanyard. I can't deal with dogs. Tasty dog treats. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so it says recall to a voice command such as come or here or any other word you choose begins by saying the word and simultaneously giving the dog a treat. I use kibbles or her food. You will do this over and over, but most dogs make the association between the word and the reward very quickly. A short lead can be useful in call training, especially for excitable pups, but also for gently tugging the dog toward you each time you say the word, the recall word, and provide the treat. Oh my, what a lot of work. Well, here's a lot of just look at the picture time. I don't want to read all of this. Here's some cartoons. The many faces of country dogs. Oh, dogs. I love dogs, but I just am too, what's the word? Is it selfish? Here's some people training their dogs in a field out here. Here's a poem, though. Let me read this. Verse for a certain dog. Such a glorious faith as fills your limpid eyes. Dear little friend of mine, I never knew. All innocent are you, and yet all wise. For heaven's sake, stop worrying that shoe. You look about, and all you see is fair. This mighty globe was made for you alone. Of all the thunderous ages, you're the air. Get up the pillow with that dirty bone. A skeptic world you face with steady gaze. High in your young pride you hold your noble head. Gaily you meet the rush of roaring days. Must you eat puppy biscuit on the bed? Lance like your courage gleaming swift and strong. Yours the white rapture of a winged soul. Yours is a spirit like a Mayday song. God help it if you break that goldfish bowl. Whatever is good, your gracious creed, you wear your joy of living like a crown. Love lights your simplest act, your every deed. Drop it, I tell you, put that kitten down. You are God's kindliest gift of all, a friend. Your shining loyalty, unflecked by doubt. You ask but leave to follow to the end. Couldn't you wait until I took you out? This is pretty, so cute. Absolutely love that. Here's a coloring page. Backwoods coloring page. Oh, I wish I had some crayons right here, right now. Love it. Leanie in the kitchen, meatball and cabbage soup. I think fall is my favorite season. Garden chores are winding down, but I'm still getting a few fresh items from my vegetable and herbs garden. I didn't have to water. It always allows me time to get upstairs to my sewing room. Oh my gosh, if I was a homesteader, I couldn't do that too. Usually I start a new recipe by getting ideas from the internet or one of my soup books, but this time I decided to net, but this time I decided to brown meatballs and add them to a vegetable-loaded broth. And I made it twice recently. First time it wasn't as flavorful as I'd hoped, so with the second batch I added more herbs and a second hot pepper from my garden. My gang loved it. Plenty of meatballs, cabbage. Here's the recipe. There you go, everybody. Alright, how to make a panforte. Panforte? I don't know how you say that. An Italian Christmas fruit cake. When I was a child, my aunt in Florida always sent us a box of citrus fruit every Christmas. However, one year she surprised us with a special fruitcake delivery from the Trappist monks. These holy men were known for their delicious baked goods, so we were thrilled to receive such a memorable gift. Christmas Day arrived. My mom unboxed the fruitcake, and it was a sight to behold, adorned with glistening red and green colored candy cherries. She sliced the fruitcake after Christmas dinner and served it along with an assortment of other delicious holiday treats. There wasn't a crumb left. Oranges are commonplace today, and fruitcakes pop up in bakeries during holiday times, but in the early 1960s, such a lazy cake. It's fitting that my Italian mom made the fruitcakes, since the concept of fruitcakes goes back to Roman times. Although the Romans did not have any candied cherries on top of their fruitcakes, records of their early recipes describe them containing pomegranate seeds, pine nuts, and raisins, and ancient cooks mixed into a barley mash. Fruitcakes were the forerunner of the modern-day energy bar, as they were food fed to Roman soldiers before heading into battle. Wow. Seasoning your fruitcake, candied fruit. Okay, so this is what fruitcake looks like before it goes into the oven. And this is what it looks like after it's done. Gosh, neither one of them look appetizing, and neither one of them look like the fruitcake my mom used to make. So there must be something very special and unique about that. Ingredients. So here's a recipe here for you all. You can check that out. Let's see. Take a screenshot if you're interested in it. Alrighty. What's next here? Beekeeping as a sideline gig? Oh my word. Honeybees are one of the most popular small livestock around, able to be kept in both urban and rural environments. Bees can be very forgiving when it comes to time management, which is one of the reasons our neighbors Dave and Desi became beekeepers. Dave and Desi are log truck drivers. They were engaged long-term experiment of breeding bees to what in the world? So these guys are not in it just for the honey. They're trying to create and breed bees that are, I'm not sure I understand what they're saying here. Okay, I see it now. resistance to varroa mites disease. It's not a disease, they're mites, and they're trying to breed bees that will be resistant to them. Very noble indeed. Okay, gee whiz page, a potpourri of trivia to tickle your brain. Let's get a better look at this. This over gently. Okay. Things your brain probably doesn't know about itself. Number one is, despite what your mother and teachers may have said to you, we don't use only 10% of our brains. Neurologists will tell you that we use 100%, about 100% of the time, even when we're sleeping. Two, your brain is not fully developed until you're about 25 years old. As it develops, it does so from back to front. Oh my gosh. The average person's brain accounts for 3% of his or her body weight. About 20% of the blood pumped from your heart goes to support your brain. But the harder you think, the more blood will burn up more energy. Your brain is 60% fat. There are about 100,000 miles of blood vessels in the brain. That's enough to go around the Earth's equinox 4 times. Coffee in moderation is good for your brain. There is a village in Norway called Hell. In the winter, hell freezes over. According to Bloomberg, the Dublin whiskey fire took place in Dublin, Ireland, killed 13 people. It started a whiskey warehouse fire containing... The fire spread through the warehouse, and the heat's intensity caused... more people died from the alcohol poisoning after that. They ran to scoop it up and drink the whiskey using any containers they could find. Oh my word. More than 50% of... Oh wait, I'm getting ahead. Oh, for alcohol poisoning, yeah. More than 50% of the population of the United States lives within 50 miles of an ocean. It is illegal to have a mullet in Iran. Wow. Every year, as many as 2.4 billion birds are killed in the United States by cats, both feral cats and those that are pets. The averages out to 6.5 million birds per day. What? It doesn't even seem possible. But wow, that Dublin fire. That's crazy, man. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know if I want to read anymore. Let me see. Hippopotamus. 2.5 miles separates big dog. Let's move on. And I don't think I will read any irreverent jokes. Growing potatoes in grow bags. Let's see, using the bags. Why am I not very interested in this? And more about potatoes. The myth of potato towers. Our future with grow bags. Now this is interesting. Building a potato storage bin. One of our biggest dreams for our new homestead is to build a root cellar, and I can think of no finer way to store root crops than to have a damp, dark underground facility, but reality often collides with dreams. Faced with an immediate need, we had to improvise. So last fall, we grew about 100 pounds of potatoes in grow bags. Once harvested, we were tasked with figuring out how to store them for the winter, and the house was too warm and the barn was too cold. My husband Don's cobbled together solution was to build a storage bin and place it in our well house, which has a tiny heater to keep pipes from freezing. The storage bin had several requirements. It needed adequate ventilation. It needed to be large enough to okay, mouse proof. That looks good. You know, that's just such a great idea. It really is. But they mentioned that you need to have a heater in that room, so still not quite homesteading the most natural way. Humbles and Bumbles, A Tale of Two Piggies. I have got to read this. Oh my goodness, here we go. My father-in-law, a man born and bred to the homesteading life, shared a tragic story with me that I thought should be passed on to the greater homesteading community. It's a lesson in animal husbandry, and like many lessons, it was born out of a mistake. The story begins with the pursuit of self-reliant meat production, and my father-in-law and a friend decided to work together to raise 2 hogs for slaughter. And the hogs would live in a pen in my father's 2-acre lot, and the friend would share in the cost and labor of the operation. Well, once the hogs were big enough, the 2 friends would kill and butcher them and split the meat. A good plan. However, things began to fall apart quickly as the 2 pigs developed their own personalities. One of the pigs was assertive and vivacious and a flat-out bully, really, and the other was meek. The combination of the 2 resulted in one large pig who always got more than her share, and an underfed and an underweight pig too timid to take for herself. Obviously, this posed a problem. If things continued this way, the underweight pig wouldn't grow large enough to be worth her meat. So the men concocted a solution. The larger of the 2 pigs was big enough for slaughter. Originally, they planned on butchering them both at the same time. But what if they harvested the larger of the pig now and allowed the smaller of the 2 to catch up? Without the gluttonous bully, the weaker pig could thrive. So here comes the mistake. They killed and butchered the big hog just outside the pen in eyeshot of the smaller hog. These 2 farmers hadn't spent much time with hogs and didn't realize that pigs are very emotionally intelligent, so when the bully was brought to slaughter in full view of the weaker, it sowed the seeds of their failure. Rather than flourishing and fattening up in the absence of the old bully, the little pig ceased to eat and her health deteriorated overall. Puzzled by the unexpected decline in the smaller hog's health, my father-in-law and his friend sought guidance from their local butcher, an old-timer with years of experience in the trade. To their surprise, the butcher explained that the surviving hog was grieving, something he'd seen before and said was a common but often overlooked phenomenon in more intelligent farm animals. Perhaps through grief, or maybe in spite of its purpose, the little pig refused to eat and grew smaller and smaller. Before it was too late, the men decided to cut their losses, and they butchered the remaining pig, and to no one's surprise, it yielded little meat and was ultimately not worth the investment. From then on, pigs were harvested far from the others to avoid making the same mistake again. Should I read this one? Okay, let me take a look at this. When I was 11 years old, my father lived in Sandown, New Hampshire, and he bought 5 female Poland China pigs through the Spiegel catalog. It was 1955 when you could buy farm animals through the mail order. One of the pigs, the runt, became my pet, and I loved all 5 of them, but especially the one I named Salome. Her name was a play on the word salami. That name would become prophetic. The pigs loved me. The dog may be a boy's best friend, but Salome became mine. I fed them, I shoveled and swept out their stall, and even spread new straw or sawdust. Every day that summer. I played with them a few hours each day, but especially with Salome. Okay, after Labor Day I went to live with my mother in Boston, Massachusetts suburb called Medford. Oh, I've heard of that. But my father picked me up every weekend and every school vacation, and I'd reunite with the pigs. And every time they saw me, they went berserk. Their front hooves up on the top fence rails, their bodies shivering with joy, and their squeals and grunts filling the air. One Friday evening, Father picked me up and said, No, I don't want to finish this. That's just going to be too sad. Okay, wild boar, a curse you can eat. Yeah, they are pesky, so I understand. Pigs gone wild. Says pigs report in a wild state. Oh. How weird, I can't think of them as being wild. Wild boar sows can breed. Okay, sorry, I'm not being real, let me just see, domesticated pigs, feral pigs, and the wild pigs, these are all matriarchal groups, much in the way that elephants and lions. As they mature, they go off alone. Form herds. Interesting. Okay, pigs as pets. I had a pet pig when I was a kid. Some celebrities have them too. Singer James Taylor had a pet pig named Mon, Miley Cyrus, Megan Fox, George Clooney, Paris Hilton, and others have also had pigs as pets. But regardless of the breed of pig, including Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs, they can become very territorial as they mature. Could become a hazard, they say. Okay, we've got some recipes here, and more recipes. This looks like something yummy. Oh my word. Let me see if I can get this closer up so you can get a screenshot here if you want it. Where did all the lard go? Oh, there are many levels of domestic pig. Breeds of domestic pigs, but they fall into 3 main categories: lard types, bacon types, and pork. The lard types have large amounts of fat on them, while the bacon and pork types are leaner and more muscled. One of the forces that drove the production of vegetable oils in the American diet was World War II. Lard had been a major cooking ingredient before the war. During the war was used in a production of some types of explosives. Oh my gosh, and made mechanical. lubricants, so almost the entire domestic production of lard was diverted to military use. As a result, consumers found themselves switching to vegetable oils and shortenings. After the war, switched to petrochemicals by the military, and the continued use of vegetable oils was Okay, curing your pork. It'll be interesting to make bacon. Purpose of salt. Oh, of course, salt just preserves your food. Man, it is bad for you. Oh, look at all this. My goodness. This brine, you gotta put it in a brine, a salt brine. More about bacon and pork. Getting started using the bacon. Great buy on pork belly. Just staring at these photographs. Ew. Oh my word, no thank you. Oh, that is just absolutely disgusting. Let's go past that. Oh, cute. City cat. And country. My cats are a cross between both. We have an article on firearms, which if you're a homesteader, you really, really must have a firearm of some sort. But I'm not going to go into this article either. It's a manly looking hand over there in his pocket. More firearms, Colt. I have a gun that looks a lot like this one down here. And I haven't shot it once, not once. Take your prepping to the next level. Voices of experience. Letters. Interesting. See, this one says we've taken the leap. I want to read that. Okay. Backwoods Home Magazine and your newest edition of Self-Reliance are my two absolute favorite homesteading magazines. We've trimmed back on several magazines due to cost, but your two magazines are the best, which cannot and will not be eliminated. My husband has been homesteading for over 40 years, and he has all your issues from the start. I came into the picture 20 years ago and will never go back to the city life, ever. Your articles are very diverse, well written, and I always learn something new. Kudos to you for keeping a family business going all these years and helping those of us who have taken the leap. Okay, we are at the end of our magazine here. Got other Backwoods Home Magazines, books. So they write books. I bet they consolidate a lot of their information into those. Yeah. And here are more magazines. Order form. And that is it, you guys. I think we are unexpected day. And I want to thank you so much for joining me, taking a little look through this magazine on this beautiful fall day. And I will see you